Could you tell us a little bit more about the work you're doing with dream analysis and music, how you integrate that? And we're actually at a workshop tonight that Michael is leading with a band to compose music to people's dreams.
Yes.
Their dream reports,
Yes.
as you call them.
Yeah, we're
Right?
going to do that live tonight.
Yeah, wow, that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it is pretty exciting. I love it. In
Yeah.
this environment too, right?
Yeah, and it's more in a workshop environment. But when you're in like private practice, how do you work with a client? And
Well, it's not that different from regular Alliance psychotherapy. They come in, we sit, we work on the material that comes up with them, what they're working on, whether it's depression, anxiety, symptoms. We might sit with that for a while. I'm a dream-focused psychotherapist, so I tell them immediately I'm interested in what they're dreaming. And if they show up, please to write them down, or you kind of share them with us with the work. And the dreams become part of the work. They kind of drive where the material is, if they're dreaming a lot. Some of my clients don't dream, and so I work with them as well. But the ones that do dream really have like serious material, like movies. They are dreaming like movies. It's fascinating stuff that has like beginning and middle and end types things, like action hero type dreams. And we apply that to what's going on in their life, and we do the regular analysis. But sometimes you just find that, Jung called this the futility of words, and words can only describe so much.
there's a quote you have on your website: music says more than it says more than words. I'm forgetting the quote.
Well, yeah,
it's nice. Do you remember
Not
what it is?
sure exactly.
There's a
which
few
one it is.
quotes on your
There's a lot
website.
of quotes on the website, and I haven't looked at the website in a while. So,
Yeah.
so
I had it written down, and it was like,
But music does go beyond words.
beyond words.
It
Yeah.
most likely coming from the Hillman world, which was this concept that we can only express so much with words. And that's why I'm a composer. That's why I love music. That's why I love art. Art bridges the gap between language and expression. And sometimes words can't express everything we're feeling. We become something called alexithymic. And I found that, how do you work with that if you're just sitting with someone who's having difficulty communicating what they're really feeling, especially in a dream world? It's so hard to describe a dream world. At least that's the way it was for me. I would it's like you can say you're flying through space on a vehicle of some kind, but it's a different feeling. And I would resort to something else. So, I also want to recognize I'm not like, it's not the most totally original thing in the world. There are a lot of therapists who work with dance and sound in different ways, and use active imagination to bring out the dream world. For me, it's music, and that's my thing.
Yeah.
So the concept was, when I'm working with someone, is that when they get to a dream and it feels really meaningful, but the words and the recall is limited. Now, something that we should know about dreams is that only 90% of it is generally remembered. Can you imagine that? So you have a dream, you're actually only recalling about 90% of it. You're actually not recalling 90% of it. So you're missing.
Oh, I was going to say,
yes.
I don't know if I can remember.
Yeah.
Remember.
Yeah,
90%
most people
of my
can't remember
dreams.
their dreams. So it's like 90% of our dreams are forgotten. That's what I'm trying to say. So basically, how do you get to that material that's forgotten? How do you remember it? And in depth psychology, we those words are trigger words for us. Remembering something, putting something back together, putting the memory system back together. Music triggers that memory bank, that neural network, and the feedback loops of information. When we do music, and this is actually proven stuff, how music is able to even help Alzheimer's patients remember things that they weren't able to remember before. So I was like, what if we put music, to dreams in almost like a clinical space, working with people. And I did find that what would happen is that a lot more material would show up when the music started.
Okay.
And what happens is I'm working with someone, they come up with a dream, they're telling me the dream, I'm saying, wow, feels like there's a lot more material in there. Let's see, what would happen if we actually start putting music? So I record their voice, I put it into a recording studio, and I start composing music to their dream, and they become like the director in telling me what's happening. So when I compose music for a film, they'll tell me, the director tells me, oh, here the actor gets scared at this beat and that.
Right.
And so I know that's when I put in the cellos, or that's when I change the tone or the texture of the piece. If I'm working with a client who's telling me their dream, I'm doing the same thing. They're telling me, oh, I'm walking into a forest and then something happens. Oh, okay, so is it scarier when that happens? Yes. So we start putting it together, and it's almost like you're putting together a movie.
I climb back down the boulders. I go back to the rainforest. I walk past all these vipers. And I make my way back to the birds. And I feel happier than I've ever felt in my life.
Yeah, and it almost feels like you get to the emotional truth much quicker.
Right.
With it.
That's the point.
In that way, yeah.
Right? The whole point, it's not even about the piece of music, whether it's good or bad or anything like that. It's about the affect. And helping the client get into that space. Because you could walk into a forest and you may not be scared in a dream. Or you may be full of, mystery, right? But if now I'm saying, let's put music to it, how should the music sound? They say, a little ambivalent, not sure. And then we say, oh, you know what? It is scarier. So we should kind of say, now they're starting to tell me something that's happening inside the dream that's important. It's important information. And they're telling me something about the dream I may not have known before.
Yeah.
And then the other aspect of the work is engaging them into a creative process that they wouldn't normally engage in. So I don't just work with like great actors or artists and stuff. I'm actually working also with people who aren't used to thinking in terms of artistic, creative language.
So yes, you work with a lot of lay people who are not, don't use creativity in their daily lives. So it actually must be a great relief to them to get access to that side of themselves.
You got to realize so many people are afraid of what they're dreaming. They're really frightened of their own creativity and their own inner genius. And I believe that, I've learned through my training that, when we go into the unconscious, we're really tapping into this genius that's inside of us. No matter what your education is or where you're from, we all jump into this world that's full of the symbolism and the beauty that's even surrounding us here right now. And some people have the genius to put it into art, but most people don't, And so what does it mean to actually get into that dream world and understand or experience it on a phenomenological level, which is like, the real lived experience of it. And when people do that, it awakens them. It actually gives them hope, even about themselves. It's amazing how many people fall into what would almost be like depression because they don't feel they're intelligent, or they don't feel like they're as creative as everyone on television or in movies or in the world. And they actually are. They actually really are. They're as creative and genius as anybody.
Yeah. And I think when anybody steps into this particular room, they automatically feel creative. Like, oh, there's so much more than just my day-to-day world. It just sparks your imagination, sparks your unconscious, you know. So I can understand why you would do your workshops in a space like this.
Yes, absolutely.
Thanks for watching the show. If you liked what you just saw, please subscribe to the channel so I can bring you more mental health and emotional well-being content. This channel is for you, so I would love to hear your comments. Did you relate to anything you saw? Or what kind of issues would you like me to address with the professionals I interview? Check out the next video, and thanks for watching.